These last 24 hours, hope everyone's doing okay out there. It's a stressful time, but breathe, and I hope my content can serve as some semblance of distraction. But on to the news. Let's talk about NBA 2K21. Sports games, my absolute favorite. So NBA 2K21 is, of course, among the greatest perpetrators when it comes to shady loot box practices, and going to Metacritic right now, you'll see that the scores here kind of speak for themselves, with even critics rating the game at less than 70%, 68% with 49 critic reviews, and the user score, I'm not surprised to see it that low, given that it's basically the same game re-released with minor adjustments and sold at a full price, unjustifiably so, while resetting all the microtransactions, so you have to repurchase them all over again. Now, the big motivator for people to go after these card packs is, one, the fact that it's pay to win, so you kind of have to spend money if you want to keep up with the competition. Otherwise, you're going to be earning the card packs too slowly, and you'll just kind of fall behind, and you won't be able to compete at the same level as those who pay up. And two, a lot of these players in sports games, obviously, they have a lot of fame, and a lot of people are fans of these players. So you got folks like James Harden here, who are not only high tier in terms of gameplay advantage, but also, there's a lot of fanfare surrounding these guys. And so that brings us to today's story, as reported by the following Reddit user on the NBA 2K official subreddit. As if the loot boxes weren't enough of a scam, when James Harden specifically was released in card packs, it turns out that as people flocked to pay in order to have the chance to earn this player, turned out there was no chance at all. The odds were already pretty freaking low, but turned out that for some time after the release of James Harden, the odds were literally at 0%. So here is what the Reddit user alleges. Urgent, 2K scammed thousands of players out of money. James Harden wasn't in packs for the first 23 minutes of being released. Hey y'all, this is shady business practices, and honestly should be brought to 2K's attention. We did this when it came to Battlefront 2 with their pay-to-win loot boxes and whatnot. People paid thousands of dollars to obtain a card that was missing from the loot boxes for the first 23 minutes of James Harden's release. People should be outraged by a basketball company who relies on gambling and lies. I don't know what bringing this to 2K's attention will do. It's not like they've ever really cared about the player experience. They've only cared about the monetization system and mastering that aspect in order to get players to engage in this vicious cycle of spending. But yes, this is what's being reported. This has got 6.7 thousand upvotes in a subreddit that's only 16.9 thousand people strong. But beyond this, word actually began to spread, and this post started to be shared on other bigger outlets like, weirdly enough, the official PlayStation 5 subreddit with 628,000 members, and this was the top post for quite a while, so this has 19,000 upvotes, and it reads right here, please join us in the fight against online gambling so we can have fairer and safer games. And essentially, this Reddit reposted the post from the NBA 2K subreddit, and you can see right here, judging by the number of upvotes and the generally positive reception surrounding this post, that this is something that's drawing a lot of attention. Indeed, there are players of NBA 2K21 who will await a specific basketball player from the NBA, and the minute they're up, they're going to spend all this money and gamble away and hope that they're going to get this desired reward from the loot boxes. But for the first 23 minutes of the alleged release of James Harden, the guy was literally not even in the loot boxes. So assuming this report is true, indeed, this would be considered a scam. You can't say, okay, the player's up, go gamble away, and then have people gamble for 23 minutes straight and spend hundreds, thousands maybe, of dollars, only for them to find out that they never had a chance, that all that money went to waste in their attempt to earn James Harden. And maybe along the way they got some other players and whatnot, but, you know, the reason people might have tuned in for this specific hour of the day was for the chance of obtaining James Harden. Beyond all that, though, players are also complaining about the fact that even if those high-value NBA players are properly implemented into the game, still, if you gamble and spin that slot machine, the odds are so low that you could spend hundreds of dollars and still not obtain a desired player. So right here we have a Reddit post from someone who spoke to an individual who was chasing after Vince Carter and LeBron James, but that didn't go so well despite having spent $500. Even after all that money, the game would not yield that desired reward, which is ridiculous. So here's what the user had to say. I love this community. I live to have fun on here. However, this is serious. I just saw a guy talk about the new packs on Twitter. What he said made my heart skip a beat. This man said he spent $500 on the new packs today. He was chasing Vince and LeBron but came up empty. I'm saying this because I care. If you choose to open packs with VC, please be responsible. In fact, I advise against opening packs at all. If you make that decision, be wise. I speak with the members of this sub often. Some of us are in college, university, some of us have full-time jobs, myself included, some of us have spouses and families, we all have different situations. Regardless, we work hard for our money. I love 2K more than anyone else I know. Spending egregious amounts on these packs just isn't worth it in the short term or the long term. Everything in moderation. Some of you might disagree with me. That's fine. I just care about this community deeply. I don't want to be silent. I want to use my voice. I am here for you. Thank you for reading. So this is an individual who seems to be an ardent fan of the NBA 2K series, and even this guy's kind of fed up with the way gambling is shoved into these games and is causing tangible, financial, and psychological harm. And the thing about addiction is that it's not a switch that you can just turn off. These games are designed to hook you, to give you that sense of anticipation that releases the dopamine, that creates a sensation that people whose brains might be wired a certain way will chase after as much as maybe they don't want to. It's this kind of abusive relationship that a lot of people aren't able to get out of because of that addictive tendency. The sad part about this individual who spent $500 on packs chasing after Vince and LeBron is that there is a chance that this individual might spend another $500 despite previously having spent all that money to no avail. They might do it again because there is just an element to gambling that makes people who kind of are more prone to getting addicted to this stuff go, you know, just one more spin. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe next time I'll get it. And the feeling of anticipation keeps them hooked. And it's just how gambling works. It's why loot boxes should be regulated like gambling, because psychologically they affect people very similarly, if not exactly the same way. And that's what makes loot boxes so dangerous. The fact that they so closely resemble gambling and the fact that addiction to that is so hard to mitigate and control for individuals who are targeted to kind of get hooked to this stuff. And the thing is, 2K doesn't give a crap about any of this, about how their systems, their monetization systems, are negatively affecting their customers. Same with EA, with the FIFA and Madden franchises, the EA Sports stuff. They don't care. The bottom line is ultimately money. As long as they're raking in the cash, that's the only language that matters to them, and this is why we need government regulations. The companies are clearly not willing to change or not willing to show any semblance of empathy and try to change things in order to make their games just healthier to play. So, you know, as not ideal as it might be to have the government step in and regulate entertainment, this is where we're at now, because this is what the games industry has done for itself. Now, in certain countries like Netherlands and Belgium, there's already been action taken against 2K. You may recall that some time ago, Belgium deliberated that NBA 2K's card packs are in fact gambling, and this is the statement that 2K provided in response. The Belgium Gaming Commission has stated that games which include certain loot box-style mechanics violate gambling laws in Belgium. While we disagree with this position, we're working to comply with the BGC's current interpretation of these laws. That is the terminology that game companies like 2K and EA like to use, interpretation of the law. So basically, they're saying, you know, these are loot boxes, these are surprise mechanics, whatever. We don't think they're gambling, even though there's plenty of evidence suggesting that there is a strong correlation there. We disagree, henceforth, we should just get away with this scot-free. But alas, the law is the law, and Belgium was going to enforce them, so 2K said as a result, we have made some local changes to My Team mode. These changes are necessary in order for us to accommodate the BGC's interpretation of the Belgian Gaming Act. Specifically, we will be turning off the ability to purchase packs with premium non-earned currency VC. Gamers are still able to acquire packs with My Team points. We'll be continuing conversations with the BGC in order to explain our view on how NBA 2K and My Team pack purchases already comply with local laws. I highly doubt that's going to go anywhere. In fact, I don't think it has gone anywhere. If you agree, we recommend that you contact your local government representative to communicate your opinion. We'll keep the community posted of any developments. We apologize for any inconvenience. Oh, it's no inconvenience at all for you to remove the ability to pay for the ability to gamble in a frickin' basketball game. And just the fact that right here they're essentially trying to put it on the people that they're negatively affecting to contact the government so that those people can help the company exploit them further. You cannot make this crap up. Now, in Netherlands, the gambling laws are a bit looser in that not all loot boxes are considered gambling, but rather those that can be cashed out or traded in some monetizable way. And so the statement released for Netherlands regulations was different. So it reads right here, the Dutch Gambling Commission have stated that games which include loot box style mechanics violate gambling laws in the Netherlands if the in-game items they contain are transferable. While we disagree with this position, we're working to comply with the Dutch Gambling Commission's current interpretation of these laws. Again, there's that word interpretation. As a result, we have made some local changes to the My Team mode. These changes are necessary in order to accommodate the Dutch Gambling Commission's interpretation of the Dutch Betting and Gaming Act. Specifically, we'll be turning off access to the auction house. So instead of turning off the ability to pay for the loot boxes with Netherlands, because of how Netherlands specifically kind of deliberated on gambling laws, their solution was to disable the one feature that actually allows players to actually directly purchase the stuff that they want. And so that's the feature that they decided to remove in response to Netherlands gambling laws, which is so backwards when you think about it, because now players can't simply just directly purchase the thing that they want. Now the only option that they have is to gamble through the card packs. The statement continues, My Team packs can still be purchased in the normal manner. Again, now gambling is the only way to get a specific NBA player or a specific card that you want. No more option to actually buy the thing directly. We'll be continuing conversations with the Dutch Gambling Commission in order to explain our view on how NBA 2K and the auction house already comply with local laws. If you agree, we recommend that you contact your local government representative to communicate your opinion. The only communication to the government that's going on is essentially people saying, hey, this is wrong, please bring these guys down a peg, regulate 2K, regulate EA, regulate loot boxes as a whole. And as more time passes, more and more government organizations are beginning to realize that this is becoming a serious issue. And so we recently saw Netherlands actually go after EA. The Dutch courts actually ruled in favor of the Dutch Gambling Commission in a case that has now been disclosed publicly, where the deliberation was that EA is violating Dutch gambling laws and now they're being fined for 10 million euros. So there's definitely forward momentum behind this idea of loot boxes need to be regulated, and the hope is that down the line 2K will also get their just desserts. And hopefully Netherlands will revisit this right here and realize that this ultimately does nothing. They're still gambling in NBA 2K. Removing the auction house isn't the solution. The solution should be to remove the ability to pay for the card packs and balance the game in such a way that players are able to steadily earn these packs via gameplay so that everyone is on the same playing field and so that this doesn't become a pay-to-win gambling system. Until that happens, though, 2K is going to show no shame. They're still going to be releasing trailers that highlight gambling in a kids-friendly game that's rated E for everyone and PEGI 3 like they did with NBA 2K20, and they're not going to give a crap about the backlash surrounding people spending $500 to get LeBron James, but the chances being so low that they still didn't get LeBron, or stuff like this crap right here, where the odds literally became 0 for the first 23 minutes because a card that was supposed to be released wasn't actually released despite it being marketed as released. So people flooded in and spend all this money to try to get that specific player. Turned out they never stood a chance. So that's the latest on the crap fest that is the NBA 2K series right now. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on these recent complaints and protests from players and just the general state of sports titles in the AAA landscape. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.